I was toting my pack along the dusty Amarillo road when along came a semi with a high and canvas covered load. He said, if you're going to Amarillo, Mac,
This stuff right behind you here doesn't look like much, and the reason it doesn't look tall or impressive is that we burned it in July. And it was 100 degrees and about 30% RH, wasn't that right? And it burned like house on fire. And so it actually killed some of the grasses, but the main thing that we were impacting were trees that were trying to grow up in the prairie. So Clymer Meadow, we've got about 1,300 acres of protected land here, and one of our strategies is to protect this watershed. That's Clymer Creek down there in the bottoms. The protected land, if you look at that little house and barn up on the hill, that's one corner, and that drops down and it goes way out yonder and drops down to the farm to market and then back to the next county road. So we've got about 13 inches, about 18 inches on center. So when you're planting these things, and we've let them dry out a little bit so they're a little easier to deal with, they're real easy to get out of these pots, and all you do is kind of take your fingernails, scrape up that root mass a little bit, make a little hole, stick it in the ground, and then just, you don't need to really make it hard around it, but just kind of tamp it down around the edges so it's well seated in that hole and there are no air spaces around it. That's the main thing, is that we don't want any air spaces adjacent to the roots. So that'll work. And I think Larry has some kneelers for you guys. They're boards that you can kneel on, keep your knees out of the mud. And I don't know if you remember to bring those down, but if you didn't, we'll go back and get them. But I guess the first order of business is if everybody can grab a flat.
So I climbed up into the cab and then I settled down inside. He asked me if I'd seen a road with so much dust and sand, and I said, listen, bud, I've traveled every road in this here land. I've been everywhere, man, I've been everywhere, man. I've crossed the deserts bare, man, breathed the mountain air, man. Travel, I've had my share, man, I've been everywhere. I've been to Waco, Hyco, Hondo, Navasota, Winsburg, Jacksboro, Hillsboro, Santa Rosa, Austin, Houston, Galveston, Texarkana, Frisco, Buffalo, Conroe, Corsicana, Goliad, Groesbeck, Glen Rose, Red Oak, Post Oak, Live Oak, Lone Oak, no joke. I've been everywhere, man, I've been everywhere, man. I've crossed the deserts bare, man, breathed the mountain air, man, wind blowing in my hair, man. I've been everywhere. I've been to Krugerville, Pflugerville, Van Horn, Val Verde, Bracketville, Bartonville, Beeville, Bull Verde, Bear Creek, Cedar Creek, Mill Creek, Mineola, May Pearl, Monaghan, Telephone, Tuscola, Redwater, Round Rock, Round Top, Round Lake, Sour Lake, South Lake, Spring Lake. For Pete's sake, I've been everywhere, man, I've been everywhere, man. I've crossed the deserts bare, man, breathed the mountain air, man, drove my tires bare, man. I've been everywhere. I've been to Greenville, Gatesville, Gainesville, Alameda, Kerrville, Kellyville, Bastrop, Bentonville, Somerville, Smithville, Stephenville, Prairie View, looking back Longview, Plainview, Adelaide, Justin, Junction, Panorama, Pasadena, Angelina, Anna Rena. See what I mean? I've been everywhere, man, I've been everywhere, man. Cross the deserts bare, man, breathe the mountain air, man. Lots of wear and tear, man. I've been everywhere. Now let me see, I've been to Valley Mills, Pine Mills, Dime Box, Duncanville, New Home, New Hope, New Deal, Liberty Hill, Rockport, Rock Creek, Bridgeport, Brownwood, Cleveland, Comanche, Cut and Shoot, Cottonwood, Bayview, Bayside, Baytown, Bay City, Fall City, Center City, Bridge City, what a pity. I've been everywhere, man, I've been everywhere, man. Cross the deserts bare, man, breathe the mountain air, man. Travel, I've had my share, man, I've been everywhere. Yeah, when it comes to traveling, Texas friends, I've been everywhere. Woo-hoo!
Watch out for that fire ant mound right there.
Whoa.
If you didn't hear,
Stand on it, Al.
Well, something's been digging in it.
Armadillo?
Could be. Oh, well. All right then. You notice these bomb craters out here? These are called gilgai. And the reason these are here is that the Blackland Prairie, actually we are standing on the state soil of Texas, Houston black clay. And this is a soil order that's called vertisol. And only 2% of Earth's surface has this particular type of soil. And there's a lot of it in Australia, and then in Texas we have the greatest accumulation of the order vertisol in North America. And the name gilgai is actually, from my understanding, is an Australian Aboriginal word, and it means big holes in the ground. But those of you that grew up in the Blackland Prairie, you've seen cracks in the soil during the summertime, right? That's what this stuff does. How many of you have had to have foundation repairs? You know, then it's likely your house is sitting on stuff like this. This is a very active soil. It has tremendous amount of shrink swell capacity in it. So, and there's a formica ant right there. That's a good thing to see.
The red one?
That red one, that's a formica, and that's a good native ant. Those fire ants are not native, and they're things that we have to control. But anyway, incredible shrink swell capacity. The reason is this is made out of a mineral called smectite, and the particles of smectite at a microscopic level are really platy. And so when it's dry, they're like this. When it's wet, they're like this. They're parted because they trap water molecules between them, so they have this incredible shrink swell capacity. So in the middle of a droughty summer, right here in the middle of this thing, there's a crack that may go down 6 feet deep, okay? So the idea, here it is, the middle of a droughty July, the crack is formed, the structure of the soil is real blocky, and you have a cave-in, you have this debris ball that develops at the bottom of this crevice. Come along in October, November, you know, we get rain again, the soil swells because it's trapping water molecules, and as it encounters this debris ball at the bottom of the crack, the pressure of that conflict is trying to force itself back together. The pressure of that conflict is forced upward into these micro ridges. So you're actually forcing the soil from a depth of 6 feet down up. The subsoil is being forced up to the surface. I just pulled up a bunch of grass seeds. Big blue stem I'm seeing there. I'm seeing some roots, all sorts of organic matter that's going into that. And smell it.
Remember this spot.
Yeah. Yeah, that actually, Larry, that actually kind of surprises me that I just pulled up all those grass seeds out of there. I rarely see that. But smell that stuff. That is, oh, it smells rich. I won't eat it. I know what's pooped out here.
I'll give you $1. Eat it, Mickey.
Eddie Albert would love that.
Man, I've been everywhere, man. I've crossed the deserts bare, man. Breathed the mountain air, man. Drove my tires bare, man. I've been everywhere. I've been to Greenville, Gatesville, Gainesville, Alameda, Kerrville, Kellyville, Bastrop, Benavita, Somerville, Smithville, Stephenville, Prairie View, looking back Longview, Plainview, Adelaide, Justin Junction, Panorama, Pasadena, Angelina, Anna Rena. See what I mean? I've been everywhere, man. I've been everywhere, man. Cross the deserts bare, man. Breathe the mountain air, man. Lots of wear and tear, man. I've been everywhere. Now let me see, I've been to Valley Mills, Pine Mills, Dime Box, Duncanville, New Home, New Hope, New Deal, Liberty Hill, Rockport, Rock Creek, Bridgeport, Brownwood, Cleveland, Comanche, Cut and Shoot, Cottonwood, Bayview, Bayside, Baytown, Bay City, Fall City, Center City, Bridge City, what a pity. I've been everywhere, man. I've been everywhere, man. Cross the deserts bare, man. Breathe the mountain air, man. Travel, I've had my share, man. I've been everywhere. Yeah, when it comes to traveling, Texas friends, I've been everywhere.